Onibaba from 1964 is a Japanese horror film that's always been on my watch list and isn't one that's been in the collection for very long before finally getting viewed. I grabbed the Blu-ray Criterion release during the half-off sale at Barnes & Noble, the sale that happened pretty much like right after Onibaba's release. This is a film that I've always heard about and have always been interested in, so I'm glad to finally sit down and watch it. The film is about two women living in a hut hidden in this super tall blade grass during a massive war in feudal Japan. They scavenge dead samurais for their swords and armors to sell for food and other items, but mostly they murder the samurais for the gear instead. Onibaba translates into Demon Hag, and that's a pretty fitting title once their neighbor shows up. He was sent to war with their son of the older woman and the husband to the younger woman. When he returns to tell them that Kichi, the son and husband of the two ladies, is dead, killed in the war, the neighbor Hachi begins to somewhat help the two ladies kill the samurai and sell the goods because he wants the younger woman for himself. Soon the two start a fling when the mother becomes wildly jealous because of her fear of being alone. This fear drives her to try to take Hachi for herself until one night when a samurai in a demon mask shows up. First off, I have to say this is a pretty brutal and disturbing film from the early 60s, I guess mid 60s. Either way, there's a lot of dead bodies in the beginning of the film when they're ripping off the armor from the warrior corpses, and they're some of the most realistic dead bodies I've seen in a film. They're stiff and I could never see them breathe if they were breathing, but they definitely didn't look fake. I don't know, but it just got to me. The film thrusts you into the face of war right out of the gate. This isn't a bloody film by any means, but it's disturbing without a doubt. I guess it depends on what you find disturbing, I suppose. The mother character played by Nobuko Otowa. If I'm mispronouncing names, I apologize, but she gave an amazing performance as a very sad and lonely character, just trying to survive and cling on to what she has left. This pretty much carries throughout the story as her compulsions is what drives the tone of the film, the relationships mirroring the war surrounding them. This is exacerbated by beautiful cinematography. Everything is shrouded by this tall blade grass, which presents a unique environment that characters are moving through. It almost feels like an impressive maze in a way. The black and white looks great as it's a bit more contrasted look rather than just a flat black and white, which allows some of the moments to look horrific, especially once the mask shows up. I also really love the music throughout the film as well. It's very fitting, and there's this like drum theme that I really loved as it helped fill the atmosphere and was fitting when it was reused. My biggest issue would be the dubbing. There's some really bad dubbing, especially the scene when Hachi comes back from the war front, but there's a lot of scenes where the dubbing is noticeably off or just bad, which really took me out of the atmosphere. Now, by no means is this a straight up horror film. It is pretty much in the last act, but the film is mostly a drama between three characters set in a pretty horrific world. We get some really disturbing moments at the beginning of the film which helps set the tone of the world and pull you in, but the bulk of the film is just the three and their conflicts of interest. By no means though is it boring, because the three main characters, especially the two girls, are really well developed. From how the characters are presented, it comes off more sad than scary, and even becomes heartbreakingly sad at the end of the film. This is definitely a mood of a film. Overall though, it's a pretty solid film that I'm glad I finally watched. It looks great in terms of the transfer, but I wouldn't expect any less from Criterion. If this seems interesting to you, then I would definitely recommend checking it out. It would be a good recommendation for someone wanting to get into classic Japanese cinema, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Also, sorry if I sound sick. I'm still trying to get stuff flushed from my head. So, bye!